Bava Metziah Daf Lamed Gimel. We're going to begin by the Mishnah on Daf Lamed Gimel Amud Aleph. Zog the Mishnah. Avidase v'avidas aviv. If a person finds his lost item and his father's lost item, and he cannot take care of both lost items for whatever reason, halacha is avidase kedemis, tending to his own lost items takes precedence. If one finds his lost item and his teacher's lost item, his lost item takes precedence. If one finds his father's lost items and his teacher's lost items, his Rav comes first. Why? His father brought him into this world, and his teacher, who taught him Teda, brings him to Eilam Haba. If his father is a Torah scholar, his father's lost item takes precedence. If his father and his teacher were each carrying a burden, and he wants to assist them in putting down their burdens. First, he takes care of his teacher, the burden, and then his father's burden. His father and his teacher were in captivity. He redeems his teacher and then his father. If his father is a Torah scholar, he redeems his father, and then he redeems his teacher. From where do we know this matter? Which matter? With regards to precedence to the return lost items. The pasuk says, only so that there shall be no needy amongst you. The pasuk can be understood as a command, indicating that it's incumbent upon each individual to ensure that he will not become needy. Which means your property takes precedence over the property of any other person. Anyone who fulfills this principle with regards to his property at the expense of others, ultimately comes to experience that fate. He will become poor, and others will prioritize their interests at his expense. If his father and his teacher were each carrying a burden, he first places his teacher's burden down, and thereafter places his father's burden down. His teacher, with regards to whom the Tanaim stated in the Mishnah that his burden takes precedence, is his teacher who taught him wisdom. And not his teacher who taught him Mikra Mishnah. Means any teacher from whom he learned most of his knowledge. Even if he enlightened him in understanding of only one Mishnah, this is his teacher. Amar Rabba says, Rav Schera is my teacher. Rav Sechera is my teacher with regard to these matters. Asbra Zuma Litran. He explained to me the meaning of the term of the Mishnah, Zuhama Listrin, which is a keli with a spoon on one end and a fork on the other. Shmuel Kari Mani Ale Hahum Rabbanan the Asbri Echadir La Amas Hashechi Veche Pesach Kiven. Shmuel tore his garments and mourning over the passing of one of the Chachamim, who explained to him the meaning of the Mishnah, Samishtan Tamid, describes the two keys that open the compartment through which the Kohen would enter the sanctuary each morning. One is the key with which the Kohen would open the inside lock. He would insert his arm upon his armpit through a small opening at the door and reach down and open the lock that was at the bottom of the door on the inside. He would go through that door into the compartment. And the other one is the key to which the Kohen opened the lock on the inner door of the compartment through which he entered the sanctuary, and he opened the lock directly. Our Ula, Talmidei Chacham Shabavel, Talmidei Chacham who are in Bavel, they rise before one another and tear their garments. And they tear their garments. In contrast to Yisrael, where the preeminent Talmud Chacham and teachers served at the head of the yeshivas and Bava, most scholars studied Torah with peers, and there was no preeminent teacher. With regards to returning a lost item, in case where both one's father and one's teacher lost an item, he returns the lost item only to his preeminent teacher before returning that of his father's, and not to his peer or one who taught him the meaning of one Mishnah or one term. Kavi mini Rav Chisda ben Rav Huna. Rav Chisda raised a shadow before Rav Huna. Talmid l'tzaref l'rabbi. If there's a student that his teacher needs him because he serves as his peer and a study partner, what is the halacha with regards to precedence in a case where he finds a lost item belonging to his father and one belonging to his teacher? So Rav Chisda and Rav Huna, his disciples, Rav Huna assumed that Rav Chisda was referring to himself. Amalei Chisda leitzachil alach. Chisda, I don't need you. The contrary, you need me until you complete 40 years of study before me. They grew angry with each other over the insult and a harsh reaction, and each did not enter to visit the other. Chisda observed 40 fasts due to the fact that Huna was offended, although he had not been his intention to offend them. Huna observed 40 fasts due to the fact that he had made a mistake and suspected that Chisda was referring to the relationship between them. Idbar was taught that Chisda bar Yisrael Rabbi says that returning the teacher's lost item takes precedence only in the case of the teacher. Allah is like Rabbi S. There's a Mechel that says this, Rabbi that says, the majority of his wisdom. Sorry, let me go back over. We have Rabbi Allah Kistam Mishnah. Allah is like Kistam Mishnah with Tanan that we learned that Rabbi Shalindei Chachma, as teacher, taught him the wisdom of Torah, which is our mayor. This is the Mishnah Meir. The Chachma means the majority of the Chachma. Those who engaged in the study of Torah, Midah, it is a virtue but not a complete virtue. The Mishnah, for those who learn Mishnayos, Midah v'neitan Allah sachar, is a virtue they receive a reward for a study. But Talmud, in regards to Gemara, Ein Lach Midah Gedelim Yisu, there's no virtue greater than that. And always pursue the study of Mishnayos more than the study of Talmud. This itself is a difficulty. You just said that the greatest virtue is learning Talmud. Other then you say you should always pursue the study of Mishnah more than the study of Talmud. Rabbi said, it was during the era of Rabbi Yehuda, at the beginning of this price, extol the study of Torah was taught. The result is that everyone abandoned the study of the Mishnayos and pursued the study of Gemara. Then he said, always run to Mishnayos more than Talmud. Why? Because if you don't have a firm basis in the fundamental of Mishnayos, then learning Gemara is basically, it's very difficult. By Drush, what is the Drush? Tana state that there's no virtue greater than the study of Talmud. What does it mean? Declare to my people their transgression and to the house of Yaakov their sins. Declare to my people their transgression. These people are the Talmid Chacham, whom the Shkogis are like Zdenis. These are the Hamar Arts, Shkogis. That there's then it's like Shkogis. So Hana the Than, Yudaim have observed the Talmud. Be very careful Talmud. Shikas Talmud because unwitting misinterpretation of the Talmud is considered intentional transgression. Those should be do it. They might have seen Shimud Bar Hashem Hacharidim al Dvareh. What does it mean? Hear the word of the Lord who you will tremble as sword. That is a word. These are the Torah scholars, your brothers have said. Ilutam Yacham Achishim Ilu Bala Mikra. Sinechem is Ilu Bala Mishnah. And Adechem is Ilu Amar Ratzim. Shematem Pasak Sibrim Batal Sikuyim. As you say, with regard to those groups who are not from the Chachamim, but their hope has ceased, and their chances are eliminated, that we may gaze upon your joy. Lest you say that the Jewish people will be ashamed, they will be ashamed. The Goyim will be ashamed. The Jewish people will be joyous. We have now concluded the second Perek of Metziah. Tomorrow we will begin Hamafkid.